Larks are back in action for the third of this four-game series, taking on the Gameday Angels and looking to bounce back from a loss last night as we welcome you into the pregame show. My name is Hank Corsair, and looking at last night's game for the Larks, it was a very competitive game that went back and forth throughout, but in the end, the Angels pulled through, getting their fifth win of the season. The Larks, although they lost, they did have some strong performances from some guys like Mason Hamlin, who got the Larks their first run of the game with a solo home run, his first of the season. We would also see Paul Smith get two singles in last night's game and score the run in the sixth inning that would tie the game up once again. But in the end, the Angels would get a go-ahead run in the top of the ninth inning and pull through with the win. And this is an opportunity tonight, as I said, for the Larks to bounce back, which is something that they're pretty familiar with. Looking back at these last two seasons, they're 6-0-1 following a loss, meaning that they didn't lose any back-to-back games last season. And it seems like the Larks play their best games here at home. They've still been outscoring their opponents through these first few home games, 63-18. And also they're going to be taking a completely new approach to tonight's game. The Larks are going to go with a completely new lineup with some of the faces that we saw in last night's game, but everybody is in a new spot tonight. And also Nick Gray, who's been a solid pitcher for the Larks, will make his third start of the season. He's done really well, keeping his opponents to a 1.45 ERA and also a 0.94 opponent batting average. So it would also be very fitting for the Larks to get a win tonight, because tonight is championship night, as they will be honoring their 2024 championship team. So we'll see how things go tonight. We are 13 minutes away from first pitch, and we will have that for you when we come back. We are about set to go for game number 12 on the season as the Larks look to bounce back against the Gameday Angels in the third game of the series. A win tonight for either team would secure at least a tie in the series. And Nick Gray will get the start tonight for the Hayes Larks. A group of pitchers that has been really good this season. As we have it listed, 8 of the Larks pitchers have more strikeouts than hits allowed. And Nick Gray, who's making the start tonight, is one of the 5 pitchers that has more strikeouts than hits and runs combined. He's held his opponents to a 1.45 ERA. And the first batter he's going to face tonight is the shortstop, Tyler Tiedemann. Gray delivers the first pitch in the zone for strike 1. The first pitch for tonight's game comes at 7:03 p.m. It's another hot night here in Hayes, Kansas. 94 degrees at first pitch with some high winds at 29 miles per hour with 43 mile per hour gusts. Just why you see the camera shaking a little bit. We'll keep an eye on it. Just make sure it stays in place tonight. It's another humid night as well. Feels like 96 degrees at first pitch. The count now 0-2 for Nick Gray against Tyler Tiedemann. The pitch on the way. A little bit high and outside. That's ball 1. After Tyler Tiedemann, it will be James Harbison who is on deck and Tyler Jenrich in the hole. Gray will deliver the 1-2. This one, a slow roller, will be picked up by Tabor Stokes. On the move, he will throw it over to Jackson Babcock at first base, and that's out number 1. A good throw there by Stokes. Once again, he picks it up while he's on the move and makes the throw. With 1 away, that takes us to James Harbison. Here is the rest of the order for the Gameday Angels. We mentioned Tyler Jenrich is batting 3rd. David Brabb is in the hole right now, batting 4th. The 5th batter is Cameron Kittredge. Batting 6th is Cliff Goldie. And rounding out the last 3 in the lineup are Issei Santaella, Brevin Matthews, and William Harbison. This one will go foul, and that will be strike 1. The defensive alignment tonight for the Larks will look like this. The left fielder tonight is Dylan LaRue. In center field is Caleb Duncan, and in right field we have Trent Baker. Thomas Lissy and Tabor Stokes are back at 3rd and shortstop. C.J. Reed is back in the lineup tonight. He is playing second base, and Jackson Babcock is playing first base, and the catcher tonight is Lorenzo Rios. The 0-1 on the way from Gray. Inside will move the count to 1-1. James Harbison reached base twice in last night's game. He reached on an error and also had a solo home run that was the Angels' 2nd run of the game. This one, a line drive, will go over the head of Stokes, and fielding it will be Caleb Duncan. He'll throw it in. And with 1 out, the Angels have a runner on through a single. So now up will be the first baseman, Tyler Jenrich. Batting 3rd once again, just like he did in last night's game. At the start of the series, he was batting 4th. We'll see what he does tonight after going 0 for 4 and only reaching base through an error. Hard ground ball fielded by Thomas Lissy. He will throw across the field, and Jackson Babcock makes the catch for out number 2, but James Harbison will advance to second base. So a 2 away, the Angels will send their designated hitter to the plate. That's David Brabb. 2 for 4 in last night's game with 2 singles. Designated hitter from UC Colorado Springs. Also plays catcher for the Angels. He just finished this season as a redshirt with Colorado Springs. And leads the team in hits with 9. That one, a swing and a miss, starts the count off 0-1. Nick Gray, the junior from Angelo State, also resides from Forney, Texas. Making his third start of the season. He's pitched 9 2/3 innings so far. A swing and a miss moves the count to 0-2. David Brabb has only been struck out once in this entire series. And he's working against the 0-2 count. The runner at second is James Harbison. He takes a big lead. Larks are just focused on getting out number 3 here at the plate. Gray kicks and deals. Finds the outside corner of the plate, and there is the strikeout to retire the side. The Angels get a runner on with James Harbison and leave him stranded at second base. And we'll have the Larks up to bat next when we come back. Going into the bottom of the first inning, we will see the first appearance in this series for the Angels. Their pitcher tonight is number 9, Chance Carruthers, making his third appearance and third start overall on the year. The junior from Rock Island, Illinois, will face off first against the center fielder, Caleb Duncan. Made his first appearance in the lineup last night and really put on a show. He had got on base 4 times with 2 walks and 2 singles. And in all of his appearances around the base path, he made it to second base. And he's moving up 1 spot. He batted second last night. We'll see what he does as the leadoff batter. His first one will be a fly ball that lands near the Angels bullpen, and it starts the count off at 0-1. Here is the Larks lineup for tonight. After Caleb Duncan, it's Jackson Babcock on deck, Trent Baker in the hole. Thomas Lissy is batting 4th, and then after that, Tabor Stokes will bat 5th. Lorenzo Rios is the 6th batter tonight, and the final batters in the order for the Larks are Dylan LaRue, Paul Smith, and C.J. Reed. That next pitch will make the count 0-2. This next one, a ground ball, will be fielded by Gendrich over at first base, and he will tag first for out number 1. So with 1 away, we'll now see Jackson Babcock come up to the plate. Batting second tonight. He batted 8th last night against the Angels. Enters tonight still as the Larks leader in batting average at .389, and also the leader in on-base percentage and OPS. This one a fly ball going into left field. Kittredge will run after it. He will slow down, and this one will land in foul territory. So Babcock will work first against an 0-1 count. He's been a key hitter for the Larks this season. Has 3 multi-hit games, but in these last few games, he's been a key for the Larks to get on base. He's been walked 9 times in the last 5. 0-1 on the way from Carthers, misses outside for ball 1. Take a look at the defensive alignment for the Angels. The left fielder tonight is number 26, Cameron Kittredge. Center fielder is number 25, James Harbison, and in right field is number 17, Cliff Goldie. The next pitch finds the outside part of the plate for strike 2. We'll get the infield for the Angels in just a second. That's the 1-2 on the way to Babcock. He'll pop this one up into the air. The third baseman is running after it, but this one will also land in foul territory. The third baseman tonight for the Angels is number 12, Issei Santaella. Back at shortstop tonight is number 2, Tyler Tiedemann, and next to him is number 20, William Harbison. And back at first base is number 15, Tyler Genrich. Catcher tonight is number 3, Brevin Matthews. The pitch will be sent his way. That one's high and outside for ball 2. Babcock working against 1 out with Trent Baker on deck. This one takes a bounce in the other batter's box, and it's now a full count. Jackson Babcock has been walked a team high 18 times this season. We mentioned he's the leader in on-base percentage. We'll see if he can get on right here. This one a ground ball, fielded by Harbison at second base, and he will throw it over to first, and that's out number 2. With 2 away, that brings in Trent Baker, playing right field tonight. He was not in the lineup last night because he served as a relief pitcher. He was the 3rd and final pitcher for the Larks to come into last night's game. He did play in the first game against the Angels where he had a big performance with an RBI double and a single. He also scored 1 run in that game as well as 2 stolen bases. Junior from Spring, Texas will start off against a 1-0 count. That one a changeup finds the zone, moves the count to 1-1. On deck for the Larks is Thomas Lissy, and Tabor Stokes is in the hole. That one will go foul and move the count to 1-2. Pitch on the way. Misses outside. Baker stays alive, and the count is 2-2. Baker's batted around this spot in the lineup all season. In the first game of the series, he was batting second. Tonight, he's been moved down to the 3 spot. This one, a hard ground ball, will be picked up by the Larks' third base coach, Andy Luton. With the count at 2-2, we'll have the 6th pitch of the at-bat up next for Trent Baker. The catcher wants it down the middle. The pitch on the way will bounce over the head of the pitcher. Coming in for it is Tiedemann. He'll throw it down to first base, and it is in time for out number 3. After a 3-up, 3-down inning, the Angels will bring up batters 5, 6, and 7 to face off against Nick Gray when we come back. Going into the top of the second inning, the leadoff batter for the Angels is number 26, Cameron Kittredge. Still facing off against the Larks starter from Angelo State, Nick Gray. First pitch of the inning is called ball one. See what Kittredge does tonight, coming off an 0-3 performance where he had a walk and a run. Gray delivers the pitch. Breaking ball finds the zone, and that moves the count to 1-1. Kittredge leads the team and leads the Angels in runs and walks. Sophomore from Dakota State. A ground ball fielded by Tabor Stokes. He will throw it over to Babcock, and it is in time for out number one. Tabor Stokes continuing to show off his fielding skills that he will take to Ball State next season. And now that takes us to the right fielder, Cliff Goldie. He played in game one, did not make an appearance in last night's game, and is playing right field once again. This pitch will go right down the middle, and that's strike one. After Goldie, the Angels will go to the final three batters in their order. That one finds the outside part of the zone. Nick Gray is ahead 0-2. Rios positioning his glove on the outside of the plate. And it goes where he wants it, but that'll be called ball one. This one, a swing and a miss, and that will be called actually a foul tip out, but there's two away in the top of the second inning, and now up is the third baseman, Issei Santaella. Two strikeouts already on the night for Nick Gray, giving him now 18 on the season, as Issei Santaella comes up to bat. The third baseman wearing number 12. That one gets in the zone, and again Gray gets ahead 0-1. Breaking ball finds the outside part of the plate. And another batter Nick Gray faces. He gets ahead 0-2. This one against the high school senior from Parker, Colorado. This one fouled back. Shakes the camera just a little bit, but it's going to stay in place. Trying to avoid the incident we had last night where it got knocked out of place by a foul ball. Gray delivers the 0-2 after the foul ball, and it takes a bounce in the dirt for ball one. This is Santaella's ninth game of the season. Just finished his high school career at Ponderosa. This one, a ground ball fielded by Thomas Lissy. And we'll give it over to Babcock, and that is out number three. A 3-up, 3-down top of the second inning. We'll see what the Larks do next, as they'll have Thomas Lissy, Tabor Stokes, and Lorenzo Rios up next to bat. Thomas Lissy will lead off the bottom of the second inning, facing off still against the starter Chance Carruthers. We'll see what Lissy does this time around. Went 2 for 4 in last night's game with two singles. He now has 9 hits on the season coming into tonight's game, which have actually all been singles. His first pitch will go inside. He has to move out of the way a little bit. But either way, he starts off 1-0. Both sides have been doing well pitching so far after the close game that we had last night. The Angels bouncing back from last season where they finished 11-10 in RMBL play. They're currently 3rd in the league. Now this one a pop fly. Chasing it down is Tiedemann. Santaella will run into foul territory as well. But a little bit of confusion will cause the ball to land foul. And the count is now 1-2 to the third baseman out of Incarnate Word, Thomas Lissy. Thomas Lissy with a 346 batting average this season. He's one of 9 Larks batters that are above 300 on the year. The 1-2 on the way from Carruthers. It's going to go high and outside for ball 2. Carruthers is a junior pitcher, just finished this season at Augustana College, where he made 21 appearances and 20 starts. And altogether had a 6-5 record. This one, a ground ball going towards Harbison, fading away. He will throw it over to first base, and that's out number 1. So with 1 out to start the bottom of the second inning, the Larks will now bring up their hits leader, number 6, Tabor Stokes. Been a hitter that the Larks can rely on. He's hit in 9 of 11 games this season, including 6 multi-hit games. And that also includes 10 hits in his last 6 games. First one was low, but it finds the zone for strike 1. That one gets into the outside part of the plate, and now Stokes has to fight back against an 0-2 count. So far, the Larks have put all their at-bats. They've put the ball in play. Tabor Stokes now working against the 1-2 count. Lorenzo Rios is on deck, one of 2 Larks players back in the order tonight. Pitch on the way. It's going to be a fly ball. Going for it is Harbison. He will run up, and that one will drop in front of him. There is the single for Tabor Stokes. So the Larks get their first runner on in tonight's game, and that brings up Lorenzo Rios. Playing catcher tonight, the junior from Rice. It's the 11th game that he's played in this season. Batting in the left-handed box against the right-handed pitcher. This one, a fly ball going towards the right center gap. Goldie will run after it, make a diving play, and he made the grab. That is out number 2. That one was going towards the right center gap, and Goldie just made a strong effort and made the diving catch. There's 2 away here in the bottom of the second, and now up is the left fielder, Dylan LaRue. LaRue has played in all but one of the Larks games this season. This is his 50th plate appearance on the year. As we mentioned in the pregame show, all Larks batters are in a new spot compared to where they were in last night's game. LaRue's batting 7th tonight after batting 4th in last night's game. And this one, they tried get it to catch Tabor Stokes stealing. That one hits the pitcher, Chance Carruthers. And Stokes successfully steals second, making that the 7th time he's done so this season. So they're going to give some time here for Carruthers after he got hit by the ball. So LaRue will step back into the left-handed batter's box. The first pitch was called ball 1. Carruthers looks back at second base. The pitch on the way. A little bit high will be called ball 2 as Dylan LaRue gets ahead in the count. The final 2 batters for the Larks are on deck and in the hole. On deck is Paul Smith, and in the hole is C.J. Reed. This one a line drive going into left field. Kittredge will have to run back for it. This one will land in fair territory to the 322 mark at the wall. And Tabor Stokes will score from second base, and it's an RBI double for Dylan LaRue. His 10th RBI of the season gives the Larks their first lead of the game, and that brings up Paul Smith. And Cameron Kittredge in left field was playing a little bit close, so LaRue able to put some power on that ball and force him to run back. He was able to keep it in fair territory for the first run of the game. And our camera gets knocked out of place. I mentioned in the pregame show we're working with some heavy winds tonight. It was 29 miles per hour at first pitch with 43 mile per hour gusts. We will fix that for you guys in between innings. But right now it's a 1-0 count to Paul Smith. Carruthers delivers the pitch. This one will go out of play and move the count to 1-1. Last night, Paul Smith went 2 for 4 with 2 singles and a run scored. He's now got a hit in 2 straight games. Now he's tied in the count at 2-1 as that one misses inside. LaRue taking a lead over at second base. He hasn't stolen a base yet this season. That one gets in the zone, and now Smith working against a 2-2 count with 2 outs. This one hit high into the air. Tracking it down is Genrich. In foul territory, he will make the grab, and that's out number 3. The Larks leave 1 runner stranded, but they do score because of an RBI double from Dylan LaRue, bringing Tabor Stokes home. And we now go to the top of the 3rd inning. We'll see what Nick Gray does next as he returns to the mound. Angels will have to work from behind with going into the top of the third inning with Brevin Matthews coming up to the plate. We've got the camera back in place. It fell out because of the high winds here at Larks Park. I mentioned last night in my 2 years covering the Larks that had never happened before. It's now happened 2 games in a row. But either way, it's an 0-1 count to Brevin Matthews. Nick Gray is back to the mound. The second pitch of the at-bat misses down low for ball 1. Brevin Matthews, a redshirt freshman from Snowflake, Arizona, playing in his 7th game of the season with the Angels. Count gets tied up at 2-1 as that one misses high and outside. Matthews also played in 26 games this season at Scottsdale Community College after redshirting in 2024. And that will be called strike 2 as that one finds the outside part of the plate. Gray already has two strikeouts on the night. Looking for number 3 right here as the pitch is on the way. Swing and a miss, but it'll be a drop third strike. Rios will take his time, give it over to Babcock, and that is out number 1. The Larks get the leadoff batter out for the 3rd inning in a row. And now we're at the final batter in the order. That is William Harbison. Playing second base tonight, and one of 2 players for the Angels that didn't make an appearance last night, along with Cliff Goldie. Swings and misses and starts the count off 0-1. Harbison will be looking for redemption after game 1, which he appeared in, where he went 0 for 4, with all of his appearances being strikeouts. Count now stands at 1-1. Just like it has been all season, that's always been a key for the Larks, is setting the tone early with the pitching. The 3 pitchers in game 1 combined for 21 strikeouts altogether. That was between Dalton Campbell, Jordan Stribling, and Julio Ramos. It's now a 2-1 count to Harbison. He'll call time and step out of the box. Down low, that one gets into the zone, and it's strike 2. Harbison, a 130 batting average on the season. He's been struck out 14 times. That one misses low and outside and makes the count full. Gray delivers the pitch, and that one finds the zone on the breaking ball, and that is strike 3. Back-to-back strikeouts for the junior out of Angelo State. And now we go back to the top of the order with Tyler Tiedemann for the Gameday Angels. So Tyler Tiedemann, the shortstop, back up to the plate. His previous at-bat, he was faced with a 1-2 count and grounded out to Tabor Stokes. This one, a foul ball, will be called the first strike of the at-bat. Tyler Tiedemann is a redshirt freshman from Las Vegas, Nevada. Plays at the D2 level in Colorado with Regis. This season he played in 3 games, had 3 at-bats, and after he redshirted in 2024. Fly ball, this one will be fielded by Tabor Stokes, and it's another 3-up, 3-down inning for the Hayes Larks against the Angels. And next up for the Larks will be C.J. Reed, Caleb Duncan, and Jackson Babcock. We'll see if the Larks can build on their lead next. Welcome back to Larks Park as we start the bottom of the third inning. C.J. Reed, the final batter in the order, will lead things off. Still facing off against the starter, Chance Carruthers. We'll see what Reed does tonight after playing in Game 1, but not being included in the lineup in Game 2 last night. He'll start off ahead 1-0. This one a ground ball. The second baseman will make a diving attempt for it, but it'll get past him, and C.J. Reed has a leadoff single in the bottom of the third inning. So it's a leadoff single for the future Ohio State Buckeye. And next up is the 8th Street Liquor Beverage batter, Caleb Duncan. We mentioned the performance he had in last night's game, 2 walks and 2 singles, and reaching second in all of his first 4 appearances on the base path. He just arrived with the Larks after playing in 41 games this season with the Wichita State Shockers. He'll start against an 0-1 count. Carruthers delivers. This one, a ground ball fielded by Tiedemann. He'll tag second, hurdle over the Larks runner Reed. And that will be a double play. Then there's 2 away in the bottom of the third as that brings up Jackson Babcock. Babcock, the freshman out of Colorado School of Mines. Leads the Larks in average and on-base percentage. That first pitch finds the zone and moves the count to 0-1. Swing and a miss, and now Babcock has to fight back against an 0-2 count. He was faced with a full count in his first at-bat in the first inning, where he was able to put the ball in play on the second base side. Carruthers delivers the pitch. A ground ball right up the middle. Tiedemann will field this one as well. Give it over to first base, and that's out number 3. C.J. Reed singles in the bottom of the third inning, but it's 3 batters come up for the Larks and 3 outs. As we go to the top of the fourth inning with James Harbison up next for the Gameday Angels, we'll see what they can do next. Nick Gray back on the mound as we start the top of the fourth inning. He's had a solid performance so far with 4 strikeouts and only allowing 1 hit on the night. And the first batter he will face in this inning is the guy that got the first hit. That is James Harbison, the center fielder. Sophomore from UC Colorado Springs. He was originally from the home of the Gameday Angels in Parker, Colorado. The count will begin at 1-0. And a curveball gets him on the outside. Harbison now deals with 1 strike in the count. On deck for the Angels is Tyler Jenrich, and David Brab is in the hole. Swing and a miss, and now 2 strikes in the count for the center fielder. Pitch on the way, and the curveball gets him. And actually, no, they're going to say that one was a foul ball. So Harbison able to make contact and keep his at-bat alive. Hard ground ball going towards Thomas Lissy, but it'll go behind the line and be called foul. The 6th pitch of the at-bat is coming up next. Nick Gray will be looking for his 5th strikeout of the night. With the 4 that he has so far, he now has 20 on the season. The pitch on the way, swing and a miss, and that'll be a drop 3rd strike, but Lorenzo Rios will tag Harbison as he just stood there. And that is the leadoff batter getting out for the 4th inning in a row. And that takes us to Tyler Jenrich. Nick Gray positioned that one on the outside and was able to catch Harbison swinging. This is against an Angels team that can make contact with the ball, but they are known for striking out. They entered tonight's game with 67 hits on the year, but they've been struck out 101 times. The count is 0-1 against Tyler Jenrich. He grounded out to Thomas Lissy in his first appearance on the first pitch of the at-bat, and now he'll work against an 0-2 count. Gray kicks and deals. So a line drive will go into foul territory, staying in the ballpark. As again, another Angel batter was faced with 2 strikes and able to foul the ball off and stay at the plate. Rios trying to get him on the outside once again. This time it'll be fouled off. That one on the inside will be called ball 1. We see your comments about the volume. We are currently working on getting that fixed. Missing on the inside part of the plate, Tyler Jenrich now has 2 straight balls in the at-bat. Now another breaking ball and back-to-back strikeouts once again for Nick Gray. He's got 6 now on the night, and now he'll face off against the 4th batter in the order, the designated hitter, David Brab. Crab will work against 2 outs. He was the final out in the first inning where he struck out looking on 3 straight strikes. Missing on the outside. The count will start off 1-0. This one a half-hearted swing. Ball will go in play, but it's behind the line, and that's strike 1. Gregg tries to get him with another breaking ball. It's put in play. Thomas Lissy will run up towards the infield. And we'll throw it to Babcock, and the Larks have another 3-up, 3-down inning, still leading 1-0. To the bottom of the 4th we go. Chance Carruthers will go back to the mound as we start the bottom of the 4th inning. Trent Baker, the right fielder, will lead things off. Again, we're going to see the Angels try to keep their guys in for as long as possible. Last night, their starter, Cosme Vera Jr., pitched 6 innings before they made the change. Tonight should be no different as long as the Angels keep it close. It's a 1-0 count to start the inning to Trent Baker. Didn't make an appearance in the lineup last night because he was the relief pitcher for the final 2 innings of last night's game. Count will now stand at 1-1 for the right fielder from Lamar. Carruthers tried getting him on the outside part of the plate. It ties the count up at 2-1. This one popped up out of play. That one will go into the parking lot of doom. For me, I got a painful reminder last night of why we call it the parking lot of doom. I went out to my car after last night's game, and I found a baseball-shaped crack in my windshield, so I parked a little bit further away tonight. Trent Baker will send this one over the head of the second baseman, and a line drive single for the right fielder. His first hit of the night, and the 4th hit of the game for the Larks. So it's back-to-back innings that the Larks have a leadoff single And now up is the third baseman, Thomas Lissy. After Lissy, the batter will be Tabor Stokes, who was the first run to score in tonight's game. A fly ball going into the gap between left center field. James Harbison will run over and make the catch, and that is out number 1. So Stokes will now come up to bat. We just mentioned had a single in his first at bat and scored the first run from an RBI double by Dylan LaRue, who is in the hole. The pitch on the way to Stokes. Hit out of play, and it moves the count to 0-1. With that single that Stokes had in the second inning, he now has 10. He's now hit in 10 of the 12 games that he's appeared in. This one will be thrown back to Trent Baker at first base. It rolls away a little bit from the first baseman, Tyler Jenrich, but he's got it back. And Carthers will now shift his focus back to Tabor Stokes. Jenrich will cover first base, and now Trent Baker will make a steal attempt. As this one will be line foul, he'll have to head back to first. Trent Baker is one of those guys that you got to watch for on the base path this season. He has 11 stolen bases and hasn't been caught stealing yet. The pitch will go high and outside. First ball of the at-bat to the shortstop, Tabor Stokes. This one fouled back off the netting. Stokes still working against the 1-2 count with Trent Baker on first base. This one hit real high into the air. This one will go out of play. It lands to the left side of us. Back-to-back foul balls from Tabor Stokes. We got the sixth pitch of the at-bat coming up next. Trent Baker again taking a big lead over at first base. Anticipating a possible steal, Carthers will throw back to first base, and Baker's back in time. A swing and a miss there by Stokes. Trent Baker will make his way down to second. And just like he's done all season, he successfully steals the base. But there's now 2 away here in the bottom of the 4th inning, as that brings up the catcher, Lorenzo Rios. First pitch goes down the middle, and the count starts off 0-1 to Lorenzo Rios. Sat out at last night's game against the Angels, but in the first game Really had a strong performance, which included a 2-run home run and an RBI triple. And he also had 2 runs overall on the night. He will now work against a 1-1 count with 2 outs. Missing inside, the count is now tied up at 2-1. Chance Carter is the pitcher for the Angels, making his 3rd start tonight. Entered tonight with a .343 opponent batting average. Misses that one on the outside, and the count now stands at 3-1. The Larks have been able to put the ball in play quite a bit tonight, but the Angels fielders have been able to keep it at a 1-0 game. We'll see if Rios can get on base right here. This one popped up, going out of play behind the Larks dugout. The Larks will be faced with a full count. The first Lark to be faced with a full count tonight was Jackson Babcock. He was able to put the ball in play. We'll see what Rios does right here. Yeah, we're going to get a time called by the home plate umpire. We'll return back to action as Rios tries to get on base. The pitch on the way. It's fouled back off the netting. As that's the first foul ball with 2 strikes for Rios. Working with Trent Baker at second base. Rios has 4 of his 7 RBIs coming in the last 2 games. Seeing if he can continue that trend. He swings and misses, and that is out number 3. Trent Baker got a leadoff single to start the inning, but 3 outs follow after that. And we go now to the top of the 5th. As we start the top of the 5th inning, we'll take this time to give a thank you to today's game sponsors. That is Hayes CVB, the Fox Theater, Sternberg Museum, and the Bricks in downtown Hayes. We thank you for your support of Hayes Larks Baseball as we celebrate the 2024 championship team tonight. As Nick Gray is back to the mound for another inning of work. It's a 1-0 count, and if he can complete this inning, it would be a new high for the starters in this series. We saw both Dalton Campbell and Braxton Buer make the start in the first 2 games, and they both went 4 innings of work. Count is 2-0 to the leadoff batter, Cameron Kittredge. Currently, it doesn't look like the Larks have anybody warming up in the bullpen. We'll see if that changes in the coming innings. It's now a 3-0 count to Cameron Kittredge, who grounded out to Tabor Stokes in his first at-bat. This one, a hard ground ball. This one also fielded by Stokes. Gives it over to Jackson Babcock, and there is one away to start the top of the 5th inning. So that'll bring up the right fielder, Cliff Goldie. And as we start the top of the 5th inning, it's the inning where we do our trivia question each night, and we'll reveal that after this pitch. As Gray delivers it, finds the inside part of the plate for strike 1. Since we're celebrating the 2024 NBC World Series team, there is 6 possible answers to tonight's trivia question. We'll see who can get the most. Who were the 3 teams that the Larks played in pool play and bracket play at the NBC World Series? We'll reveal the answer in the bottom half of the inning. We'll just see who can get the most, as there are 6 possible answers. There were 2 strikes thrown there from Nick Gray to Cliff Goldie. 3rd pitch of the at-bat. And this is down low for ball 1. That one just a little bit low. And it's ball 2 to the right fielder. Cliff Goldie, in his 2nd season with the Gameday Angels, resides from Aurora, Colorado. Trying to avoid 2 straight strikeouts to start the game for him. But he will face a full count. Gray has struck out 6 batters so far tonight. Only 1 has gotten on base. Looking to continue the trend as he sends the ball to the plate. A fly ball into left field. LaRue just has to back up a couple steps, and he makes the catch for out number 2. So with 2 away, the Angels will try to avoid what could possibly be their 4th straight 3-up, 3-down inning. But that brings up the 3rd baseman, Issei Santaella. He thought about going around. That one goes inside for ball 1. For tonight's trivia question, we'll pull it up once again. Who were the 3 teams that the Larks played in pool play and bracket play at the NBC World Series? We'll reveal it in the bottom of the 5th inning. The count is 1-1 now to Santaella. Swing and a miss, and now another batter for the the Angels will have to work against 2 strikes. Gray kicks and deals. Just missing inside. That is ball 2. And Gray gets him on the outside, and it's another 3-up, 3-down inning for the Hayes Larks as they take the 1-0 lead into the bottom of the 5th. Only facing 3 batters. We'll have the final 3 batters in the Larks order when we come back. Chance Carruthers will go back to the mound as we start the bottom of the 5th inning, and he will face off against the bottom third of the Larks order. And the inning will begin with Carruthers facing off against Dylan LaRue. This one hit high into the air, will go out of play, starting the count off 0-1. Because we had a quick top of the 5th inning, we're going to give the fans in the live chat a chance to answer the trivia question still if they want to. As that one finds the zone and moves the count to 0-2 for Dylan LaRue. The question for tonight is, who were the 3 teams that the Larks played in pool play and bracket play at the NBC World Series? Again, there are 6 possible answers for tonight. We'll reveal the 3 answers for pool play and the 3 answers for bracket play. Missing down low, that's the first ball of the at-bat for Dylan LaRue. LaRue had an RBI double in his first appearance in the 2nd inning. That one now gives him 10 RBIs on the season. This one he will line foul past the Larks dugout. As he tries to fight back, we saw this at the end of the 4th inning. Tabor Stokes and Lorenzo Rios were the last few batters. They were faced with 2 strikes, but they were able to foul some balls off and keep their plate appearance alive. The count is 2-2. This one will go over the light pole next to the Larks bullpen and land in foul territory. 7th pitch of the at-bat coming up next for Dylan LaRue. Ground ball goes towards the Angels dugout. 3 straight foul balls for the left fielder out of Cumberland. Another foul ball by Dylan LaRue. That's now 8 pitches in the at-bat. As he looks to add another hit to his resume in tonight's game. He's gotten a hit in 7 of his last 9 games, and this one he rips into right field, and it lands foul. Make that number 5 for Dylan LaRue, as this next pitch will be number 10. Carruthers delivers the pitch, and it's a swing and a miss for out number 1. LaRue put up a good fight in that at-bat, but in the end, Carruthers wins the battle. And next up is the designated hitter, Paul Smith. We're going to see the Angels continue to pitch Chance Carruthers. They do have somebody now warming up in the bullpen. We'll try to get a look of who it is in just a second. First one on the outside will be ball 1 to Paul Smith. As it was listed for the Angels, they have 7 available pitchers in their bullpen tonight, 4 right-handed pitchers and 3 left-handed. But with 1 out, the 1-0 on the way. Just a tad bit outside will be called ball 2. You can see number 11 in the bullpen. That warming up there is a freshman from Parker, Colorado, Christian Clare. He's been primarily used as a starter for the Angels, as both of his appearances that he's made this season have been starts. He's been a guy this season that can limit the bats for the Angels with a 143 opponent batting average. But we'll return back to our action now. Paul Smith ahead in the count at 3-0. And it's 4 straight balls as Smith will head down to first base. His 6th game of the year. He's now been walked 6 times this season. And now up is the second baseman, C.J. Reed. Ground ball. The first baseman can't get a hold of it. Paul Smith will stay put at second base. C.J. Reed with 2 singles now on the night will advance the runners and return the Larks back to the top of their order for the 3rd time in tonight's game. And now the Larks starting to get their bats warmed up. The Angels will have a short mound meeting here with Carruthers and their assistant coach, that is Jaden Smith. As mentioned, Christian Clare is warming up in the bullpen right now. We will step away for just a moment as they talk things over. So Carruthers will stay in the game, and that returns us to the top of the order with the 8th Street Liquor Beverage batter, Caleb Duncan. Just played his sophomore season at Wichita State after spending 1 season at the JUCO level at Golden West Community College. This one a line drive back up the middle, and it will head towards the center fielder. Rounding third base is Paul Smith, and he will slide in safely. The 2nd run of the game for the Hayes Larks. And Caleb Duncan is going to give some discounted drinks to the Larks fans. So we have some fans jump out of their seat in excitement, other ones jumping out of their seat to get their drinks. That's Caleb Duncan's first RBI on the season, and now up is the first baseman, Jackson Babcock. Reed takes a lead over at second base. That first pitch down in the zone for ball 1. And this one fouled out of play by Babcock. It's the first strike of the at-bat. Last night we saw Jackson Babcock get a walk and also had a fly out to right field that brought home the 2nd run of the game for the Larks. Trying to build on their lead right now. That one misses down low for ball 2. We mentioned the Angels have somebody warming up in their bullpen. The Larks currently have 2 guys warming up. Wouldn't be surprised if they make the change after this inning, because we saw 4 innings of work in the first 2 games from the starters, and tonight Nick Gray has gone 5. This one hit high up into the air, tracked down by the shortstop Tyler Tiedemann, and he makes the catch for out number 2. He's been one of the key fielders in this series for the Angels, and now up is Trent Baker. He was the leadoff batter in the last inning and had a single on a 2-2 count. Keep in mind Baker is the team leader in RBIs with 14. Working with a runner in scoring position, C.J. Reed. This one a line drive into center field. Harbison will run over just a little bit and make the catch, and that's 3 outs. The Larks scored another run though in the bottom of the 5th inning with Paul Smith scoring on a Caleb Duncan RBI single. We got batters 8, 9, and 1 up next for the Game Day Angels. As expected, Nick Gray's day comes to an end after 5 innings of work. He had another solid performance, only allowing 1 hit, holding the Angels scoreless and getting 7 strikeouts in the game. And the Larks will make the call to the bullpen for number 8, Lane Sparks. We'll start 1-0 against Brevin Matthews. This is Sparks' 3rd appearance of the season. He's gone 3 innings of work so far. Listed on the Larks roster as an outfielder, but this last season he played both outfield and pitched at Wharton State Community College. It's a 1-1 count now to the catcher, who struck out swinging on a drop 3rd strike. Half-hearted swing there. He goes around. And Lane Sparks ahead at the count at 1-2. This one will go into foul territory as Matthews stays alive. The Angels have only had 1 guy get on base so far in tonight's game. That was James Harbison in the 1st inning from a 1-1 single. Sparks delivers the pitch. That one's inside for ball 2. That one curving back in, still inside, and now Matthews will work against a full count. Just the 3rd batter for the Angels to work against a full count. First one was a strikeout. Second one was a flyout. We'll see what happens right here. And there it is, another strikeout for the Hayes Larks. They were able to catch Matthews on the outside, and now there's 1 away in the top of the 6th inning, and William Harbison coming up to the plate. We'll now reveal the trivia question answer for tonight. We asked who were the 3 teams that the Larks played in pool play and bracket play of the 2024 NBC World Series. And for Nicole Corsair and Stacy Gray, you both got some of the answers. The answers that we would have taken for pool play are the Air Capital Flyers, Kansas Cannons, and Lone Star Baseball Club. And then in bracket play, the Tulsa Sandlot, Lone Star Baseball Club again, and the Hutchinson Monarchs in the championship game. So that was tonight's trivia question and answer. Again, we play trivia every night in the 5th inning. We'll have another question tomorrow night as the count is 0-2 here to William Harbison. Another batter who got struck out, and he does it there again. There is 3 straight strikes to the second baseman and 2 strikeouts on the night for Lane Sparks after he comes in relief for Nick Gray. And the Angels are back to the top of their order. Next batter is Tyler Tiedemann. 0 for 2 in tonight's game. The first one will be called ball 1. Both of his hits have been outs over to Tabor Stokes at the shortstop position. The first one was a ground out. The second one was a fly out. Tiedemann now gets ahead at 2-0. Larks looking to end this inning in a game that has been, you could say, has gone pretty fast so far. We're in the top of the 6th inning, only an hour and 25 minutes in to a game that started at 7:03. The count is tied up as that one's called strike 1. Sparks delivers the pitch. Down in the dirt, that is ball 3. Ground ball fielded by Thomas Lissy. This one will take a bounce, and a second one as it goes over to Jackson Babcock, and the Larks do it again. 3 up, 3 down in the top of the 6th inning. And we'll see what the Larks can do next as we will have the bottom of the 6th inning with Trent Baker leading things off. Thomas Lissy will lead off the bottom of the 6th inning as Chance Carruthers is back to the mound for the Gameday Angels. Team that's trying to save some arms before going into Game 4. Even if they fall short in tonight's game, it's still key for them to get a win in Game 4 through their first 2 games or first two series rather. They haven't lost any of those yet. They won 2 of the 3 games that they played against the Colorado Rough Riders and split a 4-game series before this one against the Liberal BJs. With Lissy up to bat, the count is 2-0. Pitch on the way will be a ground ball that goes foul. Count tied up at 2-1 for Thomas Lissy. He had 2 singles and a sacrifice bunt in last night's game. That one misses the zone up high, and now Lissy ahead 3-1. Larks have gotten their leadoff guy on in 3 of the last 4 innings. Or 2 of the last 3, rather. It would be 3 of the last 4 if Thomas Lissy gets on right here. And he does just that as he walks on a 3-1 count. That now brings up the shortstop Tabor Stokes. Scored the first run of the game in his first appearance on where he singled on a 1-2 count. Was brought home by an RBI double from Dylan LaRue. Tabor Stokes has appeared in every game this season, has gotten a hit in 10 games. And this one he'll show bunt. It rolls back to the pitcher, Carther. And he'll throw it over to first for out number 1, but that does advance Thomas Lissy over to second base. So with 1 away, that will bring up Lorenzo Rios. First pitch of the at-bat. This is outside for ball 1. Thomas Lissy taking a big lead over at second base. The count now moves to 1-1. Carthers looks back at second, delivers the pitch. Low and outside, that is ball 2. That one finds the zone, and now 2 strikes in the count to Rios. He's put the ball in play 1 time tonight. Working with Thomas Lissy over at second base as the Larks try to extend their lead. Takes a bounce in the dirt, and now a full count to the catcher from Rice. Carthers taking his time, delivers. Rios thought about taking a swing. He holds back, and he walks on a full count. With 2 runners on and only 1 out, that brings up Dylan LaRue. We're going to get a courtesy runner here for the Larks. Lorenzo Rios will exit, and coming in is number 4, Brady Kreitzer. Kreitzer entering the game. This is his 7th appearance this season. And now we're going to get a meeting here for the for the Angels. We'll see if Carther stays in the game. Larks have 2 runners on with 1 out. And it looks like the Angels will make the change. They will make the call to the bullpen. We'll see who it is when we come back. A call to the bullpen has been made for the Gameday Angels. They will bring in number 11, Christian Clare, the freshman from UC Colorado Springs in Parker, Colorado. Redshirted this last season with Colorado Springs, and this is his third appearance of the season, and the first one that isn't a start. He's pitched in 3 2/3 innings so far, only allowing 2 earned runs. Has 5 strikeouts on the year and has held his opponents to a batting average at 143. And the first batter he will face tonight is Dylan LaRue. That one misses outside for ball 1. We've already seen LaRue get 1 hit tonight that has brought home some runs. He had an RBI double in the second that brought home Tabor Stokes. He's working with Thomas Lizzie at second and Lorenzo Rios at first. Or correction, Brady Kreitzer at first, who came in as a courtesy runner. That one finds the zone, moving the count to 1-1. Clare looks back over at second base. This one a line drive headed towards the center fielder. This one's going to take a bounce, and this one's going to bring some more runs home for Dylan LaRue. This one will take a bounce off the wall. Lissy will score. Kreitzer rounding third. And he will get home safely. A 2 RBI double for Dylan LaRue. His second double of the game as Paul Smith comes up to the plate, and the Larks build their lead to 4-0. The infielders for the Angels now have a short meeting after Christian Clare comes in for relief for Chance Carruthers. He went 5 1/3 innings of work tonight, held the Larks to 6 hits and 2 runs, and had 3 strikeouts in tonight's game. So Paul Smith will step into the batter's box. Claire taking his time, delivers the first pitch. This one hit high into the air into the parking lot of doom. Count now stands at 0-1. This one misses on the inside. Catcher lost track of it, and that's going to give time for Dylan LaRue to get over to third base. With a 1-1 count. Claire will deliver the pitch. It's fielded by the second baseman. That is Harbison, who gives it over to Jenrich. That is out number 2. He was standing in the infield grass, was watching home plate for a possible chance by Dylan LaRue to run home, but he gives it over to first base for out number 2, and that takes us to C.J. Reed. We'll see what Reed does right here. He has 2 singles so far in tonight's game. His 51st plate appearance of the season, or 51st plate appearance of the season. First pitch misses the zone, ball 1. This one hit high into the air, will go towards the fan picnic pavilion. And moves the count to 1-1 for C.J. Reed. Claire sends the pitch that way. That one misses outside, 2-1. Claire, a left-handed pitcher, mixes in a fastball, a changeup, and a cutter into his arsenal. This one finds the inside part of the plate. Now Reed will work against a 2-2 count. This one popped up high into the air, goes out of play. As C.J. Reed stays alive in his return to the lineup. Not playing in last night's game. He batted 9th also in the first game against the Angels. The next pitch up high, and that's a full count. Reed, the second batter this inning to face one. Lorenzo Rios was the first batter to face a full count. He was walked, and he also scored this inning. The full count pitch misses outside, and that is ball 4 as the Larks will go back to the top of their lineup with Caleb Duncan coming up next. Caleb Duncan in his second game in the lineup for the Larks. He got a single in his previous at-bat. Tonight he's the 8th Street Liquor beverage batter, so he got some discounted drinks for Larks fans. We'll see if he does it again. The pitch on the way. Looked close to the zone, but it'll be called ball 1. Duncan batted second in last night's game against the Angels. He's batting as the leadoff batter tonight. This one fouled back. Knocks the camera down a little bit. We'll switch over to our other angle and fix that in between innings. Count now stands at 1-1. Last season, Duncan was primarily used as the second batter in the lineup. But before he joined the Larks last season, he played at Golden West Community College, where he served as their leadoff batter. Taking up a new role tonight, he's now faced with a 1-2 count. Already has an RBI single in tonight's game. The next pitch, a ground ball over to the third baseman. Santaella will throw it over to first base, and that is out number 3. The Larks are able to score 2 more runs in the bottom of the 6th inning. Both Thomas Lissy and Brady Kreitzer, who came in as a courtesy runner for Lorenzo Rios, crossed the plate thanks to a 2 RBI double from Dylan LaRue. It's a 4-0 Larks lead as we start the final 3 innings of tonight's game. Starting the top of the 7th inning, James Harbison will lead things off for the Angels. On a 1-0 count, he pops this one up, and Tabor Stokes tracks it down for out number 1. Now up is the first baseman, Tyler Genrich. 0 for 2 in tonight's game. He's had a ground out to Thomas Lissy and also struck out swinging on a 2-2 count in the 4th inning. This one fouled out of play. Genrich will start his count 0-1. That left side of the infield has been the key for the Larks against these first 3 batters for game day. Count now 1-1. Looking at the leadoff batter, Tyler Tiedemann. He's had a ground out and a fly out to Tabor Stokes, and also a ground out to Thomas Lissy. Harbison has struck out swinging once tonight, and that last one was a fly out to Tabor Stokes. And now Genrich will be faced with a 1-2 count. He has struck out tonight and also grounded out to Thomas Lissy. Pitch on the way. Ground ball will stay in play. Lissy, a long throw to make. It takes a couple bounces, and it gets to Babcock. Is it in time? It is. That is. Oh, it's going to be called foul ball. That is going to keep the count at 1-2. Shinrich entered tonight's game with a .250 average, looking for his first trip on the bases. He's faced with a 1-2 count. Swing and a miss, and there is another strikeout for the Larks. That'll bring up the designated hitter, David Brab. The Angels trying to avoid another 3-up, 3-down inning. He has been the final out in 2 innings so far. Brab struck out looking in the 1st inning. In the 4th inning, he grounded out to Thomas Lissy. This one popped up into foul territory. It goes towards the Angels' dugout. That one will land behind the dugout as the count goes 0-1. Brad, we mentioned, has put the ball in play 1 time tonight. He is the hits leader for the Angels with 9. He also has a 346 average on the season. Coming to the Angels after redshirting this last season at UC Colorado Springs, attending Rock Canyon High School in Castle Pines, Colorado before making his college announcement. He reaches for that one and misses. The count is now 0-2. We're going to get a time called here by the home plate umpire. And Brad will step back into the box. Looking to keep the inning alive. Pitch on the way. A little bit of a different motion there for Sparks. It misses. The count is 1-2. Now that one finds the outside part of the plate. It's now 2-2 to the designated hitter. And we're going to see time called once again. That one, half-hearted swing. They say he won't go around. That was outside. And Brapp will work against a full count. To keep the inning alive, he will foul this one over the netting behind the press box. The 7th pitch of the, the 7th pitch of the at-bat coming up next. Sparks looking to retire the side. He will send the ball that way. It's a ground ball fielded by Jackson Babcock coming over from first base. Sparks will run over from the mound. It is not in time, and an infield single for David Brab. And next up in the order for the Angels is Cameron Kittredge. Our camera again falling out of place. We will go fix that in between innings. But with 2 outs, the Angels have a runner on for just the 2nd time in tonight's game. Coming up to the plate is the left fielder, Cameron Kittredge. This one, Thomas Lissy making a diving effort. It gets away from him. And both runners will advance for the Angels. That one's going to be listed as a hit. And now up is the right fielder, Cliff Goldie. Goldie is a sophomore from Aurora, Colorado. Played this last season at University of Mary. Leads the Angels in on-base percentage. Got on base in his first 2 appearances of this series. So far tonight, he struck out and had a flyout. This one fouled back. Count will be 1-1. Correction, the count is listed at 0-2 for Lane Sparks against Cliff Goldie. Pitch on the way is popped out of play. The Angels trying to show some fight this late in the game. Sparks delivers the curveball. This one hit high up into the air. There's 3 Larks there to retrieve it. It'll be Tabor Stokes that makes the catch, and there is out number 3. The Angels get 2 runners on, but they're both left stranded, and we go to the bottom of the 7th inning. Yeah, we'll have that when we come back. The freshman from Colorado School of Mines, Jackson Babcock, will lead off the bottom of the 7th inning. Still facing off against the relief pitcher, Christian Clare. Came in relief for the starter, Chance Carruthers. Both pitchers have allowed 2 runs so far in tonight's game as the Larks hold the lead. We're going to get back to their winning ways after falling last night. This is a Larks team that in the last 2 seasons has not lost back-to-back games. They're 6-0-1 in games following a loss. That one misses and moves the count to 2-0. That one a little far on the outside, but it finds the zone for strike 1. Reminder to fans, we'll have our post-game player interview after this if the Larks hold their lead and get the win. Babcock now working against a 2-2 count. A little tough to say who we're going to interview in tonight's game. We've noted that we try to interview every player before we go back to guys for a second time. But we had strong performances tonight from Dylan LaRue and Nick Gray, so the way things are looking now, those are the 2 guys that we're going to interview. As Babcock grounds out to the second base side. With 1 away, that brings up Trent Baker. Claire delivers the pitch. Baker shows bunt. This one's popped up, and making the diving catch is Claire, and there's 2 away. The right idea in mind there for Trent Baker. It just went straight up, and there was enough time for Claire to run in, make the diving catch. And now up to bat is Thomas Lissy. That one curves into the zone, starting the count off 0-1 to Thomas Lissy, who scored in his previous appearance. He was the leadoff batter of the 6th inning, had a 3-1 walk. Got driven home by a Dylan LaRue RBI double. Fouled out of play, and now the count's 0-2. Claire delivers the pitch. This one a line drive. It'll go over the head of the shortstop Tiedemann. And a single with 2 outs for Thomas Lissy. So the Larks are going to try to start another rally here. That brings up Tabor Stokes. Pitch on the way. Popped up and goes into the parking lot. As the count will begin 0-1 to Tabor Stokes. Already has 1 hit in tonight's game. Looking for another one to possibly give him his 7th multi-hit game of the season. Claire kicks and deals. That one misses on the inside, gets away from the catcher, and it gives Lissy time to steal second base. The 1-1 pitch. Popped up into foul territory near the Angels' dugout. They had 2 guys running after it. After it, they both slow down as it lands in foul territory and moves the count to 1-2. Christian Clare taking his time, looks back at second base, delivers the pitch. That is left up high for ball 2. This one a ground ball over to Santaella. This one a high throw will go over the head of the first baseman. Stokes is going to round first base. Thomas Lissy will score, and the Larks keep the inning alive from an E5. First error of the game for any team. Tabor Stokes is at second base. Thomas Lissy scores for the 2nd time tonight. Coming up to the plate next is Lorenzo Rios. First pitch on the way to Rios. This is high and outside. That's ball one. And now that I'm thinking about it a little bit more, since we haven't got the chance to interview Thomas Lissy yet this season, we are going to try to interview him for our post-game player interview, along what is likely going to be Nick Gray for the performance that he put on the mound. This one's hit high up into the air. Tiedemann backpedaling for it. And then it's the third baseman, Santaella, that comes up next, and he makes the catch for out number 3. Larks score 1 run on 1 hit in the bottom of the 7th inning and take a 5-0 lead to the top of the 8th. The Angels will have the last 3 batters in their order up next when we come back. Lane Sparks will go back to the mound to start at the top of the 8th inning, going up against the final 3 batters in the order for the Angels, and the leadoff is Issei Santaella. Fouls the first one off, starting the count off 0-1. Third baseman will now work against the 0-2 count. Outside for ball 1. That last inning for the Angels in the top of the 7th was the first one since the very first inning where they didn't go 3 up, 3 down. Trying to keep their hopes alive and at least get a tie in this series. And a swing and a miss, and there is the strikeout for Santaella. A 4th strikeout on the day for Lane Sparks, and that brings us now to the catcher, Brevin Matthews. Missing down low, the count will start off 1-0. Brevin Matthews, a redshirt freshman catcher from Snowflake, Arizona. Playing in his 7th game this season with the Angels. Gets ahead in the count at 2-0. He's already been struck out twice in tonight's game. He was actually the first batter that Lane Sparks faced. And that one he struck out on a 7-pitch full count. That one just missing inside. Now he's ahead 3-0. That one finds the zone, first strike of the at-bat. A swing and a miss, and once again Matthews will face against a full count. Sparks delivers this one, a ground ball that goes towards C.J. Reed. Takes his time, gives it over to Babcock, and there is 2 away in the top of the 8th. Next up in the order for the Angels is the second baseman, William Harbison. Just like Matthews, he has struck out twice tonight. First pitch finds the zone for strike 1. Sparks going up against the freshman from Western Nebraska Community College. Hard ground ball running up on it is Tabor Stokes. On the move, he gives over to Babcock, and once again, a 3-up, 3-down inning for the Hayes Larks. And just like the Angels, the Larks will have their last 3 batters in their order next up when we come back. After 1 2/3 innings of work, Christian Clare's day comes to an end for the Angels, and they will make their second call to the bullpen tonight, bringing in number 14, Matthew Fisher, the freshman from Augustana College, who actually plays for Augustana's JV team, making his 4th appearance this season for the Angels. He's pitched 2 2/3 innings so far, holding his opponents to 1 hit and 1 run. Also has 4 strikeouts on the year. The leadoff batter for the Larks is number 26, Dylan LaRue. First pitch from Fisher is a changeup that misses up high for ball 1. LaRue, a strong performance in tonight's game. Had 2 doubles tonight, which were both RBIs, so he brought home three of the Larks' 5 runs tonight. Count is now 2-0. That one, wild pitch, will move the count to 3-0. The motion on the throw there by Fisher, it looked a little bit different, and therefore he missed it wide. It's a 4-pitch walk for Dylan LaRue as he's on base for the 3rd time tonight. walked in 4 of his last 5 games coming into tonight, and that streak will continue. And now up is the designated hitter, Paul Smith. Playing in his 6th game with the Larks, is one of the latest additions to the team. He'll hit this one high in the air into center field. Harbison will be the one that chases it down, and then Goldie comes up, and he's the one that makes the grab for out number 1. Next up for the Larks is C.J. Reed. We mentioned Paul Smith, a player that was added to the team a little bit later for some catching depth. We do have a report that the Larks are going to be adding 2 new members to the team. They're going to bring in 2 right-handed pitchers. The first one is Dylan Hill from the Division I level with UT Corpus Christi. Also Ryan Hanks from the JUCO level at Blinn Community College. Those guys will be joining the team very shortly. And another report we have is that Mason Hamlin will be leaving the team. He was in the transfer portal. He has now found a new home with the Utah Valley Wolverines. He will be reporting to the team on July 1st. So that's the latest updates for the Larks and some roster changes coming up. As we go back to the action, the count is 0-2. Now it moves to 1-2 for C.J. Reed as that one's high and inside. That one will go back to the pitcher, Fisher. Gives it over to second. Trying to get a double play, but C.J. Reed's going to get to first base in time. So at 2 away, the Larks will go back to the top of their order for the 5th time in tonight's game with Caleb Duncan, the 8th Street Liquor Beverage batter. Playing in his 2nd game with the Larks. First time he's been the leadoff batter. Going back to his JUCO days at Golden West Community College, where he was the leadoff batter for the Rustlers. And he was a big help for that team before he decided to transfer to Wichita State. He was a first-team All-Orange Empire Conference selection, and he helped the Rustlers to a 31-14 record and gave them their first Orange Empire Conference championship since 2015. And that was who he played for when he joined the Larks last season. He's made it evident how much of an impact player he can be. Count is now 1-1 to the center fielder. That one will go behind him. And with a wild pitch, that will advance C.J. Reed over to second base. C.J. Reed will take a lead off second base. The 2-1 on the way from Fisher. Misses outside, and Duncan's ahead 3-1. Pitch on the way. Duncan will hit this one high in the air, deep into left field. Kittredge running back for it. He will stop at the wall. And goodbye, a 2-run home run for Caleb Duncan. Welcome back to Hayes America, Caleb Duncan, his first home run this season. And also his second one as a Hayes Lark. So that brings up the next batter in the order, Jackson Babcock. It's a 1-0 count to start for Babcock. This one misses up high for ball 2. A cutter misses the zone. Babcock now working ahead at 3-0. That one misses the zone, and Babcock will walk and head down to first base for the first time tonight. Now batting is the right fielder, Trent Baker. Count will begin at 1-0 to Baker. And after that home run by Caleb Duncan, I've decided that our post-game interview will be with both Duncan and Thomas Lissy. Be sure to stick around for that after the final out of tonight's game. It's a 1-1 count for Trent Baker, who has already gotten on base once tonight from a single in the 4th inning. This is on the inside. Baker tied up in the count. Baker will leave that one on the outside. He's now working ahead 3-1. That one finds the zone. Baker will work now against a full count. This one popped up on the infield. It will be tracked down by Harbison. He makes the catch, and that is out number 3. But the Larks do add 2 more runs thanks to a Caleb Duncan 2-run home run, and they are 3 outs away from getting back in the win column. We'll have the conclusion of tonight's game for you when we come back. As we start the final inning, Tyler Tiedemann will lead things off for the Angels. And the Larks have made another call to the bullpen for this final inning. They will bring in number 29, Jordan Stribling, the Oklahoma Sooner, making his 6th appearance of the season. He's pitched in 10 innings and has 16 strikeouts on the year. Just needs 3 outs to give the Larks the win. So 1-0 count to begin the inning for Tyler Tiedemann. Again, a reminder to fans, we will have our post-game player interview tonight. We've gone through a lot of we've already interviewed all the pitchers that we've seen so far tonight. So tonight's interviews will be with Caleb Duncan and Thomas Lissy. So that one goes right into the glove of Tabor Stokes. That is out number 1 here in the top of the 9th inning. Now up for the Angels will be the center fielder, number 25, James Harbison. He was the first runner to get on for the Angels in the first inning. Since then, he has struck out swinging and also had a fly out to Tabor Stokes. This one a ground ball. Jackson Babcock made a diving play for it, but it rolls into the outfield, picked up by Trent Baker. And there's a runner on for the Angels. Tyler Genrich now up to bat for the Angels with 1 out and 1 runner on. This one goes down low. It rolls away from Rios, but he picks it back up and holds the runner at first base. The count is 1-0. Stribling missed this one down low. The count is now sitting at 2-0. Stribling taking his time, just needs 2 more outs. The Larks have held the Angels scoreless tonight. A swing and a miss ties the count up at 2-1. Genrich was coming off of a game where he reached on an error, and so far tonight he's gotten out 3 times. Guy who leads the Angels in slugging percentage right at .500. And also a guy that played high school baseball in Colorado Springs. Had a .517 average in high school at Pine Creek. But he's now facing against the 3-1 count. Swing and a miss, and it's full. Stribling 16 strikeouts on the season. Can make it 17 if he can find the zone right here. That one will go up high, and that's ball 4 as Genrich heads down to first base. It's interesting to see the Angels kind of hold back a little bit here just to get the walk and get some more runners on. We mentioned this team coming into tonight's game had 67 hits on the season, but they've also entered tonight's game with 101 strikeouts on the season. A little bit high and outside, starts the count off 1-0 to David Brab. This one will be fouled back. First strike of the at-bat to David Brab, the designated hitter from Castle Pines, Colorado. Stribling just a little bit outside, puts the count at 2-1. That one able to get in the zone, and now Stribling working ahead 2-2. Stribling has the ability to work it around the zone, a .229 opponent batting average on the season. This one, a ground ball, goes foul. Sixth pitch of the at-bat coming up next for David Brab. Half-hearted swing, and Stribling catches him swinging. That is out number 2. And with 2 runners stranded, the Larks just need 1 more to get the win. That'll bring up the left fielder, Cameron Kittredge. Stribling looks back at second base, delivers the pitch. Misses outside for ball 1. Now we'll get time as Stribling steps off the mound. This one will be line foul. First strike of the at-bat. Kittredge is 1 for 3 on the day with a single and 2 groundouts over to Tabor Stokes. And again, Stribling missing outside will keep the count once again at 2-1. Another one goes outside, 3-1 count. For the Angels, they'll try to get the bases loaded right here and set up an opportunity for their batter on deck, Cliff Goldie. That one curves into the zone, and that is strike 2 from Jordan Stribling to Cameron Kittredge. Stribling just needs 1 more pitch, and as expected, Larks fans starting to clap to help him out. There is ball 4. So Kittredge walks on a full count as Cliff Goldie comes up to the plate. First pitch called ball 1. Now with a 2-0 count, Lorenzo Rios will make his way up to the mound. We'll have a short talk with Jordan Stribling. So we'll see if Stribling can finish the night, keep the Angels scoreless. That one gets in the zone, moving the count to 2-1. Scoreless game is something that I don't believe the Angels have ever been faced with this season. They've had games where they were held to just 1 run, including their loss against Liberal, where they fell 8-1. But the count is now 3-1. Stribling, swing and a miss, and on back-to-back batters, Stribling will work against a full count on Cliff Goldie. Larks fans putting their hands together to help Stribling out. He kicks and deals. Ground ball goes off the glove of Stribling. Running up for it is C.J. Reed, and that will not be in time. Goldie will reach first base, and a runner will score for the Angels. That one they will list as an infield hit, as that brings up the third baseman, Issei Santaella. This one gets away from Rios, and then sliding in safely is Tyler Genrich. Count is 1-0, and now Keith Harper will make his way out to the mound for a short meeting with Stribling, as the Larks just need one more out to get the win. We will step away for just a moment. As we return to the action, it's a 1-0 count for Jordan Stribling facing off against Issei Santaella. He will swing and a miss, and there is strike one. Santaella grounded out in his first appearance, has 2 straight strikeouts in his last few appearances. That one misses down low and ties the count up. This one rolls away from Rios, but Kittredge will stay put at third base. The count is now at 3-1. Ground ball up the middle for Stribling. Making a diving play for it is C.J. Reed. He will throw it down to first base. This one will get away from Babcock. The runner will stay put at first, but another run is going to score for the Angels. That one will be listed as a hit and an E4. It's a 7-4 game. Count is currently 0-1 to Brevin Matthews. And there is strike two as Stribling gets ahead in the count. Larks fans rising to their feet, pitch on the way, swing and a miss, and the Larks are back in the win column as they get win number 9 on the season. We'll have our post-game player interview with Caleb Duncan and Thomas Lissy up next.
Your final score, Hayes Larks 7, Gameday Angels 4. Larks improved to 9-2-1 on the year, 7-2 in RMBL play. Gameday Angels now 5-5 this season. Winning pitcher is Nick Gray. Loss goes to Chance Carruthers. Nick Gray, 5 innings pitched, 1 hit, 7 strikeouts. Lane Sparks, 3 innings of relief, 2 hits, 4 strikeouts. Jordan Stribling throws the 9th and strikes out 2. 3 RBI and 2 base hits each for Caleb Duncan and Dylan LaRue.
Down at the ballpark, where I'll be rooting for the Hayes Larks. All of my friends are gonna be there too. Nothing in the world I'd rather do than grab a hot dog burger and a cold beer. You'll hear me yelling out a big cheer, 'cause whether they win or whether they lose, I'll be rooting for the Hayes
It's time now for tonight's post-game player interview with Hank Corsair, sponsored by Lewis Automotive, by Lewis.com. Take it away, Hank.
Thank you. I'm here first with Thomas Lissy with 2 runs scored in tonight's game, as well as a walk, a single, and a stolen base. What was working for you tonight?
You know, just really sticking to the 2-strike approach, just trying to get a pitch I can hit and do the best I can with that.
And you entered this series coming off of a knee injury, so how have you kind of eased back into the action?
You know, just coming off an injury, kind of trying to see pitches and just get back in the rhythm of things. And I think just, you know, taking it easy and just getting at bats has really helped with that.
And this for tonight's game, you guys were coming off of a loss and you put up a strong performance. Looking back at these last 2 seasons, you guys haven't lost any back-to-back games. So what does that say about the heart of this team and the ability to bounce back?
You know, we trust each other. We trust our pitchers, trust our hitters to get the job done each day. And I think whenever we drop one, we're going to come back the next day even stronger and get the job done.
Congrats on the win tonight. Give it up for Thomas Lissy. I'm now here with Caleb Duncan. First off, welcome back to Hayes, Kansas. Tonight you had 2 hits as well as a 2-run home run. What did you see tonight?
I saw a lot more fastballs and just trying to get a good pitch to hit.
And you entered this season for the Larks after playing your first year with Wichita State, so how did that kind of develop you before you came here?
It was good. I mean, in the NBC, I got to play at Wichita's Park, and that was really big, getting comfortable with it, and being able to come back has been great.
And since you were kind of a late arrival, how does it feel to make an impact at this point in the season?
It feels great. I mean, all the guys welcome me. I know a lot of them from last year, so being comfortable with it and being back in the fans was great.
Congrats on the win. Give it up for Caleb Duncan.
Thank you, Hank. Thanks to Lewis Automotive for sponsoring the post-game Larks player interview. Larks and Angels meet here tomorrow, wrapping up the series 6 p.m. First pitch right here at Larks Park. Larks are then on the road next week, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, taking on the Liberal BJs. All of those games start at 7. Catch all the action with play-by-play announcer Hank Corsair on the Larks YouTube channel. Larks are back at home at the end of the month, Saturday and Sunday, 28th and 29th against the Colorado Rough Riders before a Monday night game against the Dodge City A's on June 30th. Come out early, come out often for all the fun of the best summer game in town, Hayes Larks Baseball. Thanks to all of our game sponsors, Hayes Convention and Visitors Bureau, Fox Theater, Sternberg Museum of Natural History, and the Bricks in downtown Hayes. Be sure to buckle up and drive home safe.
Start spreading the news.
The Larks entered tonight having to bounce back, and they do so in incredible fashion, winning tonight by a final score of 7-4, pulling through despite a late push by the Angels. And it was another big performance for the team. The Larks slowly build on their lead with taking a 2-0 lead after 5. It was the middle part of the game in the 6th and 7th inning where they really started to take things off, or take off. They had Thomas Lissy and Lorenzo Rios score in the 6th inning thanks to a two RBI double from Dylan LaRue. And then in the 7th inning, Thomas Lissy would score from he would single and then be brought home later in that inning. We also saw in that 8th inning Caleb Duncan in his return to in his second game back here for the Hayes Larks hit a 2-run home run, and we got the chance to interview him in the postgame. And the Larks are able to pull through with a win by a final score of 7-4. And setting the tone early once again was the pitching. Through the first two pitchers, Nick Gray and Lane Sparks, they got 11 strikeouts and only allowed 2 hits through those first 8 innings, and held the Angels scoreless before they went on that push at the very end of the game. And now the Larks have a 2-1 lead on this series, and they've played 3 games, but there is still 1 more to be played. Tomorrow at 6 p.m., the Larks will take on the Angels to try to get the win in the series and win their 10th and get win number 10 on the season before what is likely their biggest series of the season, going down to Liberal for Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, taking on the BJs, a team that has always challenged the Larks and is always near the top of the RBL standings. So that's going to wrap things up. The Larks win tonight by a final score of 7-4, and I'm Hank Corsair saying good night from Larks Park.